What's up everybody, and welcome back to my Let's Play of The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. In the last episode, we explored the two islands specifically that I wanted to check out in the sky. That's some that had some side quest and one that had a mini game. This one right here behind me. As well as did some last minute preparations like grabbing some revitalization potion from the bazaar in order to set out for the surface. And well guys, there is nothing else for me to do here in Skyloft or on the sky, so let's say we just go ahead and head all the way over to that giant green pillar in the sky and head on down to the surface. Now, is that a waterfall coming off of Skyloft? I think it is. That's actually pretty cool. Some of you may be wondering what that giant thing right over there is. It's called the Thunderhead. Nothing we can really do with it right now. It's just kind of a giant, well, thunderhead in the sky at the moment. I want to speed up this travel just a little by going through that ring. Anytime you see one of those rings that's even close to the iteration you're going in, like if I was going straight ahead right here, but that guy right there is so close that I'd go ahead and try to run into it to try to get some outreach. And Fi wants to talk to us. I hit the wrong button. Master Link, observe. The green pillar before you is a column of light. It marks the point at which you can descend to the surface. You can confirm your current location on the map. Please see where you are in relation to Skyloft. I normally won't call on Fi unless it's something like super important, like she says, like something that's like actually important to the game, because normally she would just interrupt you automatically. Now we have to press the down button to call on her to get this cutscene. It appears that you will be able to reach the surface by passing through the portal into the clouds at the column's base. And then she'll uninterrupt us. And so if we press ZR to jump off, we can aim for this giant hole in the sky if we'll ever get down far enough. For some reason I feel like this loading zone is a lot lower than it normally is. But anyway, we can hit this portal, I guess is what she called it, in the cloud barrier and head on down to the surface. So here we go guys. Our adventure finally begins. Our search for Zelda begins now. Master, please make sure to use your sailcloth when descending from the high elevations. Failing to do so has a high probability of resulting in injury. I took the liberty of deploying the sailcloth for you this time, but in the future you can mainly engage it by pressing ZR before landing. Master Link, we've arrived. This is the fabled surface that has long been part of Skyloft legend. By my calculations, you are currently positioned in a location known as the Sealed Grounds. Well, like she said, this is the Sealed Grounds. Please proceed with caution, Master. Sure thing, Fi. So, here we are on the surface. And there's no really else where we can go. We can't climb over any of this stuff here. We simply have to go this way. And she also mentioned that make sure you pull out your sailcloth before you land. She took the liberty of pulling that out for me. I did not pull out the sailcloth there. She actually did it for me, but don't worry, it's not like if you don't press it every time you come to the surface, you're going to die. It's just not going to happen. She will always pull it out for you, and I tend to do that because if you press it super early, it just takes longer. So if you let her do it for you, you should do it at the last possible second, and it just speeds up the game a whole lot. But I thought I'd mention that. Anyway, we have a brand new enemy. If we can target the enemy with Fi and then press, or we can target the enemy with Z targeting and then press down to call on Fi. And this is target lock. This is a Deku Baba. This violent plant is widespread in wooded areas. It will attempt to bite anything that approaches it. Though it is covered in a tough outer husk, the inside of its mouth is soft. I've confirmed the existence of two varieties, one that opens their mouth vertically and those that open them horizontally. You've defeated 0 types of this enemy. I'm unable to analyze your battle performance rating with this opponent due to insufficient data. And he continues his attack and bites me. So simply, if he opens his mouth sideways, swipe left, and like this guy right here, slice it down, and there you go. And Fi is calling us. I don't think this is important. Master, I have further information for you. I have the ability to offer information on items and creatures you target with ZL. Oh, thanks, I guess. While targeting something with a ZL, press down and I will brief you with all the information I know on the subject. I just covered that, but cool, I guess. You can also stun them. I didn't mean to do a spin attack, but if he bites you and you attack him, you may take damage, but you'll also hit them, I guess. And you can also bash them with your shield to stun them, and that'll do some damage too. But anyway, let's hop on down. And this door over here is locked. Fi's gonna call on us. It's really not. Actually, will she call on us again if I walk back to it? Yes, she will. It's not that important. All she's gonna tell you is that it appears to be locked by some sort of outside magic, which I think you can obviously tell that it is if you walk close enough to it. There's no real reason to call on her. I'm gonna start doing that for most things, like if it's just irrelevant and I don't need, and I can explain it myself. I'd rather just do it that way than have her explain it, because unless it's vital to the story, I guess, and like she actually does a pretty good job of explaining it and it's not repetitive, I may call on her, but for that, I don't really see a point. But since we can't go in that door, there's only one way to go, and it's down in this pit, which appears to be housing that terrible beast. Young one, child of destiny descended from the sky. Raise the sword of the goddess Skyward. Take aim at the evil aura and unleash its power. Alright, we better do what the ominous voice says. Hit it with a Skyward strike. And it seems as if the pit has calmed down. And all these wind gusts have appeared now as well. Master Link, I'm sensing a change in the area that was triggered by your Skyward strike. I've also detected an aura that correlates closely to your cell cloth. I summarize, this aura belongs to Zelda. I can lead you in the direction of this aura through a process known as dowsing. Would you like for me to explain this process to you? No thanks. Understood, Master. Hold up and select Zelda as your dowsing target, then point in the direction you wish to search. I love how she explains it anyway, but you can press up and hold to douse. Select Zelda, and then you'll point your sword in the direction, and it tells us that she's up that way. So up kind of in towards that door that we saw a minute ago. That's how dowsing works, pretty simple. I think in the original you hold the C button down, it still works the same way. And you point your sword. Fairly straightforward. Nothing really to think about too hard, I guess, if that makes sense, I guess. But let's take all these wind gusts all the way up and use your sailcloth to kind of pick us up into the air. And this should put us right in front of the doors, and indeed it does. Just a small little walk this way. I'll grab these 2 hearts as well, because mine as well. And once we head closer to these doors, looks like the seal decides to break. And now we can actually head inside. And this is the sealed temple. Honestly, the music in here is pretty great. I'll let you listen for a second. Kind of reminds me of the Temple of a Time in a way. But anyway, there appears to be a mysterious figure up here. Let's go talk to her. This is the old one. Ah, the traveler descended from the clouds above. I welcome you, child of fate. Tell me, what is your name? Link. Ah, Link. Good. Very good. And since you have already gained control over the sacred power that fills your sword when you point it skyward, the skyward strike is yours to command. It is proof that you are fit to bear the blade that you carry, the goddess sword. I've sat here for many years waiting for you to arrive, all so that I could fulfill my purpose as your guide. You stand under the roof of the sealed temple, a place built by the goddess an eternity ago. Your arrival here was predestined many, many years ago. The spirit maiden you seek arrived here shortly before you, descending to the land in a shower of light. There is no doubting it, the gears of fate have begun to turn. It all is not as it should be. The spirit maiden was not meant to reach this land in the manner that she did. I feel an evil presence working in the shadows. It moves to warp the destiny of which you two are a part. Link, you are concerned for the spirit maiden and seek her whereabouts, yes? Yeah, pretty much. That is understandable, but for now, you must focus on moving forward. That girl has her own purpose she must pursue, as do you. She set out for the Faron Woods to discover that destiny for herself, and you must follow. Show me your map. The X upon your map marks the path that will lead you to Faron Woods. You will be traveling in unfamiliar lands. Many monsters have settled here, and a map may not prove guidance enough for your journey. And so I will give you the power to create beacons. When a beacon is marked on your map, a column of light will stand at the location. It will act as a waypoint from afar. Point at the X and press A to place a beacon. So if we simply take our pointer, point at the X, we can also zoom in with the right stick, and then simply press A, it'll place a beacon. Though you cannot see it from where we are, a beacon stands outside to guide you. Leave the temple at the front door and see for yourself. When you no longer have use for a beacon, you can remove it from your map by pressing A. Use your beacons well, and you will never fear getting lost. Go now, for you must head into Faron Woods and chase after the Spirit Maiden, the one you call Zelda. On your way out, take the contents of the treasure chest within this room. What you find there should prove useful to you on your journey. And she'll unlock the door for us. You are ready. Leave through the door before you and head into the woods. I wish you safe travel. Know that all the questions you have now will be answered in time. For now, Link, Go bravely. Alright, sure thing. But she said chest and the contents of this room. So head... Nope, I'm sorry. There's a stool over there. Actually, I will sit on the stool because something actually pretty special happens if you sit down here. I do hope you are able to catch up with Zelda. Yeah, I hope so too. Maybe we will be able to if we kind of speed this process up. We waited long enough on Skyloft, so let's go and open up this chest though, and inside we get another revitalization potion. Yeah, so now we have 2 of them in our inventory, and that's actually 2 empty bottles we have now. That's actually 2 of the 4 in the entire game. Yeah, already. You can get 1 from Skyloft right at the beginning, and then 1 from here. If you've already played ahead and hadn't gotten this chest or forgot about it, you can come back and get it at any point. It doesn't matter. I would just recommend getting it now because, well, it's probably most useful to you now, especially with the shield that we have at the moment. This place isn't really that special. There's this over here, I guess. Can't really do anything with this little hole just yet. There's another stool there. And I also want to mention that if you ever sit on a stool with empty health, let's say I would have gotten hit by an enemy outside, come in and sit down, you will eventually regain your health. I'm not sure if that works in hero mode, but I do know that it works in regular mode or normal mode. But there's that beacon that we placed. And here we are just outside of Faron Woods and outside of the Sealed Temple. I'm going to go ahead and remove this from my map because I don't need it and I don't want to keep it on me. But you can see where it was in that cutscene. And also there's some birds here. And uh-oh. Looks like there's some not so good guys up ahead. Out of the way! Scram! Alright, we better help this guy out. Alright, so actually, I'll go ahead and show you off what these enemies are. These are red bokoblins. These monsters have plagued the land since ancient times. They each play different roles with their weaponry, and their weaponry varies. They prefer to act in groups. None of them are intelligent by any definition of the word. Curiously, they seem to have a mysterious obsession with fashionable undergarments. You've defeated one type of this enemy. I'm unable to analyze your battle performance rating with this opponent due to insufficient data. They will block your attacks with their sword, so simply attack them on whichever way their sword is not facing. So if his sword is facing to the left, quickly attack from the right, and oh my gosh, we actually got one. This is an ornamental skull. The simple, slightly I'm not even sure what that word is. Fashion statement bears the bokoblin symbol. That's another treasure we get. Those are pretty rare. I'm actually glad we were able to get a hold of that. Phew, thanks for jumping in there to rescue me, bud. I'm glad we grabbed that before this cutscene started because it would have disappeared and I would have been very sad. But anyway, let's talk to you. Just who were those red pests? I'd not expect to run into a pack of them in this peaceful forest. Same goes for you. This is the second time I've bumped into one of your kind today. I tell you, all sorts of weird things are going on lately. Are you big for taking care of those guys? So let me tell you something fascinating. Well, those statues look familiar. They look like the goddess statues in Skyloft. Hey, bud. I'm Gorko the Goron. I'm researching the ancient history of these woods here. According to the ancient text, there is some kind of place far above called the Isle of the Goddess, far up in the sky. Apparently, these old statues serve as landmarks for those traveling up to the sky or down from the Isle of the Goddess place. If you find one, be sure to examine it to keep tabs on the number of landmarks. They're rumored to be quite useful. Supposedly, the statue is special, as it is said to have the ability to activate all of the statues. The whole thing sounds a little crazy, I know, but I, for one, believe it to be true. Otherwise, why would all these statues be all over the place? It's a real head-scratcher, bud. Makes you want to know more, doesn't it? Yeah. Sounds like I have a fellow connoisseur of the ancient cultures here. Alright, bud, you better brace yourself because I'm about to blow your mind. So get this, people actually live on the Sky Island, and they get around by flying on the back of huge birds that are way bigger than the birds down here. Well, so far you got it all right. Up there, everyone reveres the goddess, and all the residents of the island in the sky live in a perfect society, totally free of conflict or unhappiness. Well, I wouldn't say totally free. I mean, there's groups, I guess. Not only that, but from what I can tell, their civilization is way, way more advanced than ours down here. But it doesn't even stop there, bud. The Isle of Goddess has even more stuff to marvel at. The place was crafted by the goddess herself, so it figures it is filled with wonders we do not have here. The buildings are all made of gold. An endless spring of mystical water feeds a river through the place. One sip of that stuff, and you live forever. Well, you were right a second ago. Now you're just wrong. The trees are heavy with plum fruit that cures all diseases. The fields are crowded with pumpkins that never rot. Magic wildflowers bloom everywhere. And the weather, oh, the weather, bud, not too hot, not too cold. No chance of sweaty heat in this garden paradise. That is the Isle of the Goddess. I mean, you almost had it. Amazing, right? Wrong. It's beyond amazing. You want to hear more about it, don't you, bud? Sure. Good to hear, bud. I'm completely obsessed with this place. I cannot get enough of it. I wish I had more to tell you now, but I'll need to research these statues to learn more. Next time I bump into you, I'll give you the latest info. Well, hey, looks like we activated the statue. Whoa! What in the world just happened? Did you use some kind of magic? The statue reacted the moment you got near it, bud. How crazy is that? And yeah, if we actually examine this, this is another way to save and quit our game. So this is the location behind the temple. We can also use this to head to the sky, and I'll show off what exactly that does in a later episode. But just remember that name, behind the temple, because that'll be important for later on. There's also some bugs on this wall. If we roll into here, we actually caught both of them. This is 2 woodland rhino beetles. Collectors often polish these hard carapaces of the beetles to make them tougher. It's the strongest of all insects. So actually, that's our first set of insects. Sweet. But I actually want to climb up here just real quick and head back through here, because this will actually bring us back over here to the sealed grounds, and we can create a little bit of a shortcut. And I want to do that for a very specific reason of one. Alright, I actually want to swipe down. Nope. Alright, we'll swipe up then, since the down obviously didn't work. Yeah, motion controls still aren't perfect. Yeah, but it activated this statue too, and I want to come over and examine this one. This is, well, the sealed grounds. Once again, you're going to want to remember that for later, because it'll be pretty useful a little bit later on. And one more thing to note, and I'll probably end up mentioning this again in the next episode. Anytime you see one of these statues, always make sure you stop and at least examine it. So just walk up to it, press A to see the menu, and then just X out of it. You're going to want us to do that with every statue that you see. Master, now that you've accessed the stone statue, you will be able to return to the sky at will. Furthermore, by using a certain amiibo figure, you can return to the sky from anywhere on the surface and come back where you left off. Yeah, this is exclusive to the Nintendo Switch HD remake of this game. Obviously, the Zelda and Loftwing amiibo will allow you to travel to the sky and return back to exactly where you were, even from inside dungeons at any point. And you don't even have to hop on your bird to travel back to the surface. You can simply do that from Skyloft. Please call me anytime you would like to use an amiibo. You can also enable or disable amiibo usage from the options. So we can actually press down to call on her, and maybe, apparently that doesn't show up. Maybe I think you have to scan the amiibo first, and then she'll ask you if you want to go back. Can I roll into this wall and knock that down? No. But alright, sweet. So let's actually walk right on over here. Push this log over. And create ourselves a little path into Pharaon Woods. But, I actually think we're going to head on inside in the next episode. So if you guys did like this part, a like rating would be greatly appreciated. Helps the channel a lot. And if you want to see more content like this, please do consider subscribing. But once again, guys, my name is Connor. Thank you so much for watching. And I'll catch you in the next one.